Kunja Bihari Jaya Radhama Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopichana Vallabha Jaya Giri Baradhari Jaya Gopichana Vallabha Jaya Giri Baradhari Yashodanandana Prajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for coming to the class. Let me offer some praise to my spiritual master and the Parampara. And can you please bless me so that I may be able to understand, read, interpret the Transcendental Diaries of Srila Prabhupada correctly, and we can all gain some knowledge from that. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhistam Snapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanur Sutadevi Pranamami Hare Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. So today we're reading from the Transcendental Diaries, and we're going back 48 years almost, to be exact. On the 29th of May, it's going to be 47 years, 11 months, and I think 19 days, like that. So we're going back so far back in time, and we are on a morning walk, and the persons that are there are Pusta Krishna Maharaj. There's a person by the name of Aldous Huxley, and of course Prabhupada is there with the other disciples. And Pusta Krishna Maharaj is asking Prabhupada a question while they are walking, that this Aldous Huxley, that was his name, he is trying to be a devotee, but he is not so happy about following the regulative principles. Why must I do all of these things? Why must I follow? I want to be in control. I want to do what I want. I don't want to feel any guilt. And this Pusta Krishna Maharaj is asking Prabhupada, what's wrong with this fellow? Why doesn't he just surrender to the Lord and behave as a devotee should? Of course, Prabhupada doesn't answer immediately, but they continue walking, and then they go around a corner, and then they see the beach is in front of them, and there's a lot of surfers, people on the surf, and they're trying to enjoying themselves. They are enjoying themselves, and Prabhupada looks at them and says, they are in hell, but they don't know that they are in hell. So that was a bit confusing for me, because don't we all like to go to the beach, and don't we like to play on the beach, and don't others who are brave enough like to surf on the waters on the waves? And then I tried to understand what Prabhupada meant, and then when he said that we are trying to enjoy within hell, then I got a little bit of understanding that this world is full of suffering, and while we are suffering, we are trying to enjoy. That is why he said that we are not using intelligence, because how can anyone enjoy in a hell? If there's hell means suffering, if there's suffering all around you, how can you think that, okay, I can enjoy something, I can be happy, I can surf, or I can play on the waves, I can ride on the waves, and I'll feel happy. Or I can do something else and I'll feel happy, like maybe do some something that you like motor racing or something like that. That the competition is there, you might win the competition, but for how long? Just for that day. The next day or the next month there's another competition and you may not win. So how long did that happiness last? So I think that's what Prabhupada meant by that. And then he also gave the example of the hogs in India that eat stool. Anyway, I think this happens anywhere. And he was saying that for them, for the hog, that is enjoyment. But we who can see more than the hog, then we realize that that is not enjoyment at all. In fact, it is abominable. So we are in the same situation, just like hogs. We think we are enjoying, but there is no scope for enjoyment. So it simply means that when we are not God conscious, then we think that we can be happy without the presence of the Lord. That if I go to the beach, that if I go and do something else, if I go for a walk in the forest, if I go try and do some other thing, play one game or something like that, I will be happy. Yes, happiness will be there, but temporarily. and we are here temporarily as well. The body that we have is temporary. So what is the point? That happiness is going to be short-lived. We need to have happiness on an ongoing basis, and that is only available in the spiritual world. And the only way we can get that happiness is if we connect with the Lord, who is non-different from His name in this age. And if He is non-different from His name, then if we chant His holy names, then we are connecting with the Lord. And if we are connecting with the Lord, then we can really experience enjoyment. Then he explains further that there are different levels of suffering. Different people suffer on different levels. And the example that I could think of is like different grades of sickness. That is suffering. Sickness is suffering. Old age is suffering. And someone might have a headache. But that headache is not as severe as someone who has a heart attack. And that heart attack may not be as bad as somebody who's had a stroke. So we've got 3 levels of suffering there, just to give a simple example. So not everybody is suffering on the same level. We are all suffering on different levels, and those of us who are not suffering as much think we are happy. We mistake that suffering to be happiness. Then they carry on walking, and then they go back to the temple, and there's the Bhagavatam class, and then the story is told of Ajmila. And then Prabhupada explains that a little further. He says that we need not fear death. Suffering and fear are closely allied. And he says that if we have faith in that holy name that we are talking about is the names of the Lord, Krishna. We can call him by various other names. He is also known as Govinda, as Narayan, and in the case of Ajmila we will see that even Narayan worked in his favor, the name Narayan. Of course, Ajmila, it is said, I don't remember the story so well, but he was involved in lots of sinful activities, and at the time of death, of course, the Yamadutas were there. They are the agents of Yamaraj, and they came to take him away. But he had many sons, and the last son that he had, his youngest son, was called Narayan. And in his anxiety, in his pain, in his suffering, he called for his son, Narayan. He wasn't thinking of God, but he called Narayan. That was his son's name. And as soon as he called Narayan, then of course the Vishnu Dutas were there, and they came and chastised the Yamadutas. What are you doing? Why are you troubling him? Leave him alone. And in that way he was saved, simply by calling the name of Narayan. What does that mean for us? It means that we too must relate with God, and if we are associated with the Lord in that way, through His holy name, whichever name it might be, but as long as it is God's name, it can't be any other name, it must be God's name, and in that way we will be able to avoid going to the abode of Yamaraj, and in that way we can be saved. So how is it that the Vishnu Dutas came so quickly? Prabhupada gives the analogy of like a security company. You know, if you drive around, you'll see that the security van, the patrol van is parked in different places, and you wonder what they're doing. They probably parked under a tree or at some corner or some place. They just parked and they're sitting there. And if there's a problem, when you get in contact with the office, then they are able to contact that patrol van which is nearest to you, and within a few minutes they are there to help you. So this is a material arrangement in the material world, where they have the system where even the police operate like that. When you phone the police station, it's not that the policeman in the police station is going to rush outside to his van and then try and come to you. All he does, he radios the person who is closest to you, and that's what comes to you in a few minutes. It's not that he was racing from 10 miles away and tried to come to you in neck-breaking speed and try to help you. No, there was somebody close by, and it was just a network of contacts. So in the same way, if there's such an elaborate arrangement here in the material world, and the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world, how much more sophisticated that network will be in the spiritual world. And all we have to do, we don't have to pay a subscription. It doesn't cost us anything. All we have to do is chant the holy names of the Lord. Although it is said that we can chant any of the names of the Lord, Krishna is recommended. Prabhupada says we should chant Krishna's name. Why Krishna's name? Because Krishna's name is all attractive, and it can attract. It has the power to attract. And well, that was over. They explained that part of the chanting section, that we should relate to the Lord, and then they went on to Harinam. They drove along the road, and they couldn't find a place to park, but they could see the devotees who were on Harinam, so the driver just drove past. And when the devotees saw that Srila Prabhupada was there, and he was watching them from the car, they got very, very ecstatic. They became enlivened, and the Harinam became ecstatic. The devotees were jubilant, and they got new life, right? They were very, very jubilant. Then they further discussed what was happening in the different areas, in the different countries, different locations, even within America. The report came that there was a monthly report about how the devotees were doing, whether they were progressing, and Prabhupada was quite pleased that there were lots of new devotees. They were making new life members, and in that way the purpose of the Hare Krishna movement, the purpose was being fulfilled. And they were doing well simply because of the Back to Godhead magazine. But in that way they were able to get in touch with many people and to distribute the literature about Krishna consciousness. Then there was another episode where the government officials, the authorities, were not approving the distribution of books at the airport. When the devotees were there, then they did not know about this ISKCON. They did not know whether they were an underground movement, whether they were authentic, or whether they were even a bona fide religion. So the matter went to court, and the judge found that it was indeed an authentic movement. They were doing a good job, and the restriction was overthrown, and they were able to go and distribute books at the airport as well. Which, how does that relate to us? It means that we should also endeavor. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is that the holy name should be spread to every town and village. What does that mean for us? It means that we should also try to distribute the books even in the face of difficulties. If there are difficulties, then we should not give up and say, oh, the authorities are not allowing us. We should endeavor, we should explain who we are and tell them what our purpose is, what our mission is, and in that way we can actually propagate this movement. In that way, not only can we save ourselves, we can save so many other thousands of people as well. That is the whole point of this Krishna consciousness movement. We understand that, as we spoke about in the beginning, this is a place of suffering, and we want to come out of this suffering. We are on different levels of suffering, and how to do that? Very, very simple. just chant the holy names of the Lord. From there, you will want to read about the Lord, you will want to hear about the Lord, you will want to engage in devotional service for the Lord, and when you are doing that, then all problems will be solved. We understand that everyone makes plans to avoid Krishna, but we have to try and bring people to Krishna. Like if you consider, if you look at today, this morning's class, there are 2, 3, 4, very few of us here. It is about Krishna, and as it says here, everyone makes plans to avoid Krishna. They always find something more important to do. Today is a Saturday, I have to do shopping, I have to do some other thing, which has a temporary outcome. So we have to make people aware that it's not about the temporary outcome that we are worried about. We know that we are suffering, we know that we have to leave, and if we are going to leave, then what next? That is what we should consider. Are we making any preparations for the future? We already know, it's certain, it is guaranteed that we cannot be here forever, we cannot enjoy forever, we will not stay as we are forever. We can already see how many changes have taken place. You know that verse in Bhagavad Gita, Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yuvaram jaraha. That verse which talks about our advancement from baby to boyhood to youthfulness and to old age. So many changes have taken place within this body, and therefore another change will take place as well. We will have to leave this body, and when we leave this body, what next? That is what we have to consider, and that is the reason why we have to hear about Krishna. That is the reason why we have to chant about Krishna, and that is the reason why we have to practice devotional service. We have to engage in devotional service simply for that reason, that when the time comes, and it is going to come, that we will be able to transcend from this plane of material suffering to the spiritual world where there's eternal joy and bliss. And although it may seem to be easy, when we talk about it, we say just simply chant the holy name. But that is not so easy to do. We have to make a concerted effort to make a choice, a decisive choice, that, okay, I am not going to give priority to the other temporary things. They are necessary. I need to go to work, I need to go shopping, I need to do all of those things, I need to go visiting. But I'll do that after I have given priority to coming to the temple, hearing about Krishna, associating with the devotees, and engaging in devotional service. After I've done that, then I can go and do the other things, because now I have ensured I have ensured that when the time comes, that I am not going to be left destitute, I am not going to be in trouble and have to come back to the material world, get the human form again, and go through all the suffering lifetime after lifetime. No, we want to break that cycle in this lifetime, and Prabhupada is saying on this morning walk, as they're walking along, that it is easy to do. And we've heard this so many times, some of you might be even bored about hearing it all the time, but it is true. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. It is repeated like that in Bhagavad Gita, that the only way is to chant Hare Krishna. So we see that the movement at that time in 1976, we're talking about the 29th of May 1976, this morning walk, that at that time there was also progress. More people were joining, and the holy names were being taken to the street. There was Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution was going on, as it is going on today. We're talking about 48 years ago. And even today, nothing has changed. It goes to show that there has to be some truth in this information that we're given. Prabhupada is not giving us the assurance that he will be there to take us back home on without evidence. Evidence is there. This has been going on for so long, since 1976 already. So if it was something that was without substance, would it have sustained itself for so long? So we can see that all we have to do is have faith, just have to connect with the Lord through His holy name. In this age, it is His holy name. He is present in His holy name. And we've heard this hundreds and thousands of times before, and I'm repeating again just to reinforce, so that it might just change your mind today, and you might say, look, I have been toying with the idea, I've been playing with the idea, but today I'm going to do it. So now we move on to the 30th of May 1976. What happens there? There is also a discussion. It's a morning walk again, and this time it's about cow protection. Because as they're passing a field, they see some cows there, and one of the disciples asks that, okay, we in ISKCON, we talk about cow protection, but in other religions and other faiths, they even recommend that the cow should be killed for food purposes. Then Prabhupada explained, he said that our movement is based on compassion. Compassion means we not only look after ourselves, we look after others as well. Not only others of our kind, all living entities. And especially the cow, because if you look after the cow, if the cow is well fed, then what happens? It produces milk for our consumption. We get so many dairy products that are very nutritious and healthy. And if we have those products, then what is the need for sick? There is no need to be in distress. The chances are you'll be healthy, you're getting good nourishment, you'll be strong, and you can do your devotional service in that way. So if you eat the cow, that's going to be like so many people will eat that flesh for so many days, or 1 or 2 days, and then the usefulness of the cow is finished. So Prabhupada was explaining like that it is there are different levels of people, and according to their intelligence, understanding, some of them will eat cows, but they are the ones who are on the Sudra level or below Sudra level. If you consider yourself to be on the Sudra level, of course it is said that in Kali Yuga all of us are Sudras, but we don't have to behave like Sudras. We might be Sudras, but we have the knowledge, we have intelligence, we have the literature to uplift ourselves. We can destroy the darkness born of ignorance with the shining light of knowledge. That is available to us simply by hearing, and if we cannot hear, or if we go home and we want to continue, then you have access to read for yourself. The books are available. So as far as cow protection is concerned, that is of also priority given by Prabhupada, and he also states here that when you have milk products and milk, then the tissues of the brain are nourished, and you are able to think correctly and intelligently. But he says meat eaters are dull. Then he also wanted us to understand or look at it in this way, that we have our own mother and father, then we have our godmothers and godfathers, But who is the ultimate father and who is the ultimate mother? He said we should see that God is the father and material nature is the mother. And then somebody said that, one of the disciples again said that, when you become independent of the father, then what is the need to respect your father or have some relationship with your father? Then Prabhupada explained, he said that parents, both mother and father, will do anything for the child. They will always give protection. The father is strong, he has some money, he has knowledge, he has passion, all of these things. He's talking about Krishna and the 6 opulences. So why will you abandon your father? You may be independent, but it does not mean that you have to abandon your father. So you must always have a relationship with your father. If you don't have such a relationship, then he said that you should be considered to be a rascal, because although you may not be dependent on your father, you cannot deny your father. He made that point, right? It's good if you become independent, but don't deny your father. Father means all kindness, even if the father is a bad person. If he is a bad man, like in the case of Ajmila, he was engaging in sinful activities like that. But still, when it comes to family, when it comes to his son or his child or his daughter, then he is going to protect that child. So there should always, we cannot deny who the father is. Mother will also give all protection, and Mother Earth gives us protection. Material nature is giving us protection. How? In the sense that there are so many foodstuffs available through the material elements like the earth, the air, the water, the sunshine, all of those things put together with some seeds, and our hunger is taken care of. There's no need to go hungry. Just as a child doesn't need to go hungry because the mother will provide milk for the child. So in that sense, material nature is our mother. He illustrates this by giving an example of a competition that took place where the artists were asked to paint the expression of a mother who was witnessing her child being killed. And of course different artists express that in different ways. But the artist that won first prize simply showed the mother covering her face like that. So that means that the mother will rather not see than to experience her child being killed by somebody else. So she will say, rather kill me, but leave my child alone. So from that we understand we have to be always grateful both to our mother and father, to Krishna for making all the arrangements, for material nature, for providing all the necessities, and in that way we can complete this journey. This is a journey like on a train, we are on the train. It doesn't mean we can live on the train. It doesn't mean that we should now become so comfortable that okay, this is my car and this is my seat. I'm going to be here and I'm going to get my blanket and I'm not going to give this seat to anybody else. You can do all of that, but is it an intelligent proposition? If you know that the train is going to stop at a station and at one of those stations you are going to have to get off, then why would you want to make the train your home? The wise person, well, all of us are wise. Everybody here is wise. Everybody has the capacity to be wise. We just don't think about it in that way sometimes. That, okay, if I'm on a journey and I know the journey is going to come to an end, then should I not rather make preparations for my stay at the station, because that is going to be more permanent. Once I reach my destination, then I'm not going to be traveling anymore. Then I can make plans to make it my permanent home and see how I can make myself happy in that environment. So that is something else that Prabhupada is talking about here. And one more thing, he ends off by talking about preaching in China. There was this one Siddha Swarup Maharaj, and he had indicated that he would like to go to China. And then Prabhupada phoned him and said, yes, please go, because China constitutes 1/4 of the population of the world. And what is our mission? Our mission is try to enlighten everybody so that they can understand who God is, who they are, what material nature is, and what is the relationship between all three of them, and what is the purpose. So if we can take this holy name to every town and village, as Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu wanted, then that is what we should do. We should try in whatever way we can. So I'll end there. Any comments or questions? Gopal Raj Prabhu, good morning. Any comments? Any question? Prabhu was up from 3 o'clock this morning, so it's understandable that he's feeling a bit drowsy now. Any comment, Prabhu? Can you add something to this conversation about taking the holy name to every town and village, including China?
Didn't hear the question. It tells me how to take the holy name further.
Now we were talking about how Prabhupada, 48 years ago, he was walking along the beach and he saw the surfers, and he said to the disciples, these people are in hell, but they don't know they are hell. They are in hell. So how is it that surfing is something that we should understand to be hell? Why? I was trying to, I understood a little bit of it. You'll give me, maybe you can tell us exactly a little bit more about it. And Prabhupada also went on to say that they are just like hogs. They are eating stool, but they don't know, but they think that's enjoyment.
Yeah. Well, the holy name is the only way I say first, just by chanting this holy name. Besides, humans, all living entities can get some blessings from this holy name by chanting. Even in my field, also in the building industry, I also do this, and giving people a lift, and making, and when they jump off, we just tell them, they ask me, what do we owe you? I say, the only thing you owe us is, can you do one favor? They said, yes. I said, well, can you chant Hare Krishna? They said, okay. What's this Hare Krishna? I said, well, praise the Lord. Oh, that's good. So then I start telling them, say Hare Krishna, and then go on like that, and they chant. And then find that the next time, again, the next day, the same people will be standing on the road, and this time I don't have to say anything. I'm bypassing, and they say Hare Krishna, and because they need a lift, you see. So this Krishna helps in so many ways. If you want a lift, you don't have to say anything. You just say Hare Krishna, and it worked for them. So, yeah, like in this one case we had, I was, I think I did mention this some times back. We were going out, giving out these handbills for Rath Yatra. And it so happened I came to a petrol station. And then while the guy was putting the fuel, I heard someone in the back, they say, listen, we have a flat tire. And the accent was like an American. And I said, wow, I should jump off and see this person. So I got off, and then I saw this couple in this car. And I said, sir, do you need any help? They said, yes, we have a flat tire. And the accent was definitely an American accent. And I said, listen, I can help you, but you won't get it here in this garage. I know of a place near my house. So they said, please help. So I put in the fuel and paid the Bowser boy, and then I told them, follow me. So I took them here, and there was a place where they, repaired tires. And then I went to the guy, and I asked him, listen, how long will it take to repair this tire? He said, listen, you have to wait for an hour because we have a waiting list here. I said, okay. And then I went to these people, and I told them, you know what, you have to wait for an hour. They said, we don't mind. But I said, you're going to wait for an hour? They said, yes. I said, why don't you come to my house and have a drink? And immediately when they heard about drink, they said, oh yes. He looked at his wife and girl or whatever it is. She said, yeah, okay, we will come. So we left the tire, then they followed me to the house. It was in a courtesy day. So as I was driving up, they followed me, and Tulsipriya asked me, said, who are these people? I said, don't worry about who are these people. Open the door. So they came inside, and immediately these people, when they walked into the lounge, there was altar, on the Vyasasam. And they said, wow, who's this? I said, well, this is Srila Prabhupada. He's the founder of the Hare Krishna movement. Oh, is that so? I said, well, and then who is that? They pointed to my Guru Maharaj. And I said, well, that is my Guru Maharaj, and that's his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Wow, that's amazing. We've been to India, and we were really amazed with everything in India. But it's so nice to see, and he is from where? He had asked me about my Guru Maharaj. I said, well, he's from America. Well, we from America. Then I came to know the Americans. Then they asked, where about in America? I asked them, where about in America? Where does he stay in America? I said, well, near Santa Barbara. Well, we are near Santa Barbara. Where about near Santa Barbara? I said, in Caitanya. I said, well, we from Caitanya. It went on, and then they said, where about in Caitanya? On Foothill Road. Well, we are near Foothill Road, and it's coming so close. This time I was like shaking, I was heated up this time. I said, wow, these people are right near my Guru Maharaj's place. And I said to them, well, yeah, he's from a Jewish background. Wow, that's great. I hardly hear of Jewish people joining your Hare Krishnas. And I said, yeah, well, that's my spiritual master, and we visit him quite often. And then a week later, then I told them, they expected the drink. So we brought fruit juices. It was fresh fruit juice. And gave them some, paneer, whatever it was, Tulsi put it. They really enjoyed the prasad. And then they said, I said, okay, fine. You want to leave now? And they said, thank you. You guys are so wonderful, you Hare Krishnas. I said, don't thank me. Do me one favor. You live near my spiritual master's place. Go and visit him and thank him. They said, oh, for sure. And took their addresses and everything. And so they left, and then I took them back to that place to repair the tire. So the tire was ready, and they asked me, listen, what do we owe you? I said, there's no charge for this. Put the tire into that, thanked me over and over, because they were on a tour. they were going to what you call, I think, towards the Cape, Cape area. But they stayed over somewhere along the beach in Port Shepstone. And yeah, a week later, I phoned him. He checked me, it was me, and then said, "Gopal, you just won't believe it." I said, "Yes." "Believe what?" He says, "I'm with some surfers on the beach now, near Cape Town. And I'm just speaking about you and the Hare Krishna movement. And I'm just telling them that they're such wonderful people that if you have a flat tire, I had a flat tire and this is what they did to me. They repaired my tire. They took me to the house. They gave me a meal. They paid for the tire. What else do you expect?" And I'm just telling them about the Hare Krishnas. So I interrupted immediately and I said to him, I said, "You know what, do me a favor. You tell your friends out there, if at any time they have a flat tire, go and look for Hare Krishna." And let me tell free of charge. And there was a laughter after that. And I think at about a month after that, Tulsi Priya was in Carpinteria, the wife. She was in America. And she took Kunti, God's sister, and went and visited these people. And this guy was mowing the lawn. And immediately, can you...
Hare Krishna. I went to visit, I told my god sister Kunti, I met this couple and I want to visit them. So we drove up on the driveway and he was busy in the garden. And he came out and I said to him, "George," and he looked and he said, "Tulsi, what are you doing here?" And then he quickly called his wife and he said, "Come and see who's at the gate." And she came and she was so shocked to see me. They welcomed us in, they offered us some tea. And then we got on speaking, and then I went and I said to them, "I'd like to invite you all to my Guru Maharaj's house." Because my Guru Maharaj, I had already spoken to him about them, and he said, "Please invite them over for a meal." So they came and we cooked, they took prasad and all that, and then the Maharaj came a bit later, he met with them. He was so pleased, and then they even took pictures with my Guru Maharaj. And that's how it was.
Thank you very much for that nice account.
Yeah, so these people now, they chanting Hare Krishna, so you just don't know who can pick this up. And like in our case, we do Food for Life, and nearly every week, and we go out, feeding and then distributing books, and I chant in front of everyone. And those who don't chant, I tell them, "You're not going to get it." Huh? "Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna." So we spread like that, slowly, slowly. Yeah, this holy name is very powerful. Hare Krishna. That's one part of it.
Thank you, Prabhu, for that inspiring story. That
I diverted, Prabhu. Sorry.
no, but you reinforced the idea that chanting is the basis. From that, then so many other things can follow. And if people are going to be convinced through kindness, through the kindness of the devotees, that this holy name is going to make their lives bereft of, lessen the suffering, then why will they not chant? So let us be like Gopal Raj Prabhu. When we see people with flat tires, let's help them, take them home, give them prasad, and they'll become devotees. Not only that, if we simply say to them, "Please chant Hare Krishna," give them a book or tell them something from the book, they might be inspired to read, and in that way they can save themselves. And of course, the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again will be propagated, and that is what our aim is. Anybody else would like to say something? Please feel free. Please, Prabhu. Thank you for coming. The fact that you come here regularly every morning and circumambulate the deities and all that is an inspiration to all of us, even devotees and non-devotees. because it shows that with a little bit of determination, if we just regulate ourselves and say, before I do anything else, let me go and see my Lord. And in that way we become attached to the Lord. When we become attached to the Lord, then we detach from other things. And if we detach from useless things, not altogether useless, but things that are not going to be of profit to us in the hereafter, then why not? Let's follow Vish Prabhu's example. Come, associate with the devotees, do some devotional service, see the deities, dance, sing. It's so simple. Let's try it. Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else? Okay, we'll go and take Prasad now. I think they serve around now. So thank you very much for attending. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari.